Hi guys, another week, another video. Happy May. So since it's May, we have a new theme for this month. And before I explain the new theme, I just want you guys to think about a little something. So I want you to close your guys' eyes and think. Think about what makes you want to give up something. Do you guys want to give up when something takes too much time or when something is hard? Maybe it's too much of you feeling uncomfortable. Sometimes you just want to say, no more, it's not worth it, I give up. When we choose to sit through the hard times and rough it out a little bit, we tend to find that it gets actually a little bit easier. So 6 years ago, I know it's a long time ago, some of you weren't even born 6 years ago, I tried taking Spanish at the school that I was going to, and I really didn't like taking Spanish. I thought it was too hard. I didn't think that my teacher was helping me enough, and so I quit. I didn't learn any more Spanish for 2 more years after that, until I started up again in high school. I sat through the hard parts of my Spanish class in high school, y ahora puedo hablar con mis amigos de Guatemala o alguna persona aquí que hable español y puedo entenderles como si hablara español por toda de mi vida. When you sit through the hard parts of learning or trying something new, Splash Mountain, or playing guitar or the piano or trying a new skill, you might even find that you think it's fun. When I was little, I really hated roller coasters. I didn't like the ones that dropped and made it feel like your stomach was about to go into your throat, but now I love roller coasters. In fact, I rode a really tall roller coaster. I went to Vegas, right in the middle of the city. It was so cool. So God can give you the power to stick with it, to try something new. This could be something as easy as cleaning your messy room, but with God's power next to us, we'll be singing like this. We can't stop, we won't stop. When you finish something that you start all the way to the end, people can see God's power inside of you. This is called determination. I know, monthly big word, determination. It means deciding that it's worth it to finish something that you started. Worshiping God isn't just about singing our way through a song or giving Him quarters and pennies. It's also about living our way through life with Him by our side and using Him for help. So while I talk to you, I'm going to change it up a little bit this week. Instead of just sitting on the floor of my bedroom like I am right now, I'm actually going to move everything that I'm recording with to my kitchen, and I'm gonna try and make a dessert that I've only made once, and I'm gonna use determination and I'm gonna get through it. I'm not very good at cooking and I have to read the directions a lot, but I'm gonna try and read the directions as little as I can and see if I can do it all by myself. So alright, 1, 2, 3, here we go.
gonna stop singing your praise, singing your praise. I can't stop, won't stop, never gonna stop singing your praise, singing your praise. I can't stop, won't stop, never gonna stop singing your praise.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. And now for an amazing story, inspired by the books of Matthew, Luke, and Acts.
Alright, I switched to my kitchen. So I'm going to be making a little bit of a snack. It's a really good dessert. They're called Muddy Buddies. They look like this. They have chocolate and peanut butter and sugar on them, and they're made from cereal. It's really cool. It's really good. I had them when I graduated high school. So today's story is about Jesus, of course, but it is about Jesus and His disciples before He went to heaven. So when Jesus returned to life, although roller coasters weren't made yet because this was a long time ago, I could imagine that His disciples' life felt like a roller coaster. It was crazy really for everyone. Let's say that Peter and Matthew might have gone over the story one more time as they were walking on their walk from Galilee to Jerusalem. While you guys watch this part, I'm gonna cut some butter.
Remember how it started? Jesus does all these miracles. Thousands of people gathered to listen to Him.
And we hear God's voice saying, "This is my son, and I love him."
But then He gets all those threats from the religious leaders.
And He ignores them all and raises Lazarus to life.
That lousy Judas betrays Him,
The religious leaders arrest him,
and I run away like a fool.
and Jesus is killed.
But He comes back to life.
And now we get to hang out with him.
I think He's got big plans. Did you hear how He told me at the lake to take care of His followers?
And what he said to us all on the mountain in Galilee.
About making new disciples?
Yeah. So you must go and make disciples of all nations, baptize them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Teach them to obey everything I have commanded you, and you can be sure that I am always with you to the very end. Big job.
How do you remember all this stuff?
I record it.
You should write a book sometime.
I'm still not so sure about the Holy Spirit part.
Same.
But Jesus is here with us now. We can do anything while he stays with us.
Forever!
So ahead while they were walking, Peter and Matthew could see Jerusalem in the distance and a temple that was rising up above all the other buildings.
He said to meet Him back in Jerusalem.
For the Feast of Pentecost, probably.
That would be the perfect time for Him to do something big. If He wants followers in all nations, that must mean we take over Israel first, right?
I don't know about the takeover part.
Need 1 cup of chocolate chips. As Jesus' friends came back to Jerusalem, Jesus led them to a hill that was right outside the city. Oh!
Nice view of the city from here.
I bet He's finally gonna give us all the big plan now.
He already did. Make disciples of all nations.
Yeah, but how? Is He gonna gather 50,000 people at Pentecost? Or maybe He'll take us all with Him on an epic road trip?
He probably wouldn't have brought us all up here if he didn't have something big to say.
Sure enough, as they ate a meal on the hill, Jesus told them,
"Do not leave Jerusalem. Wait for the gift my Father promised. In a few days, you will be baptized with the Holy Spirit."
There's the Holy Spirit thing again.
Peter couldn't take it anymore and he asked,
Lord, Are you going to give the kingdom back to Israel now?
Everyone looked at Peter, and Jesus shook his head.
You should not be concerned about times or dates. The Father has set them by his own authority. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you. Then you will tell people about me in Jerusalem, and in all Judea and Samaria. And you will even tell other people about me from one end of the earth to the other.
Before I say this next part, look at this peanut butter. I can't do this at the same time. A few of the disciples looked around at each other after he said this.
Okay, you did say the all nations part already, but where will you be?
And please, can you explain how the Holy Spirit's going to help us?
Jesus looked at them, and he smiled and put his hands up and said a blessing over them.
He's not answering the question.
Slowly as he spoke, Jesus began to lift in the air like he was flying.
He's standing in the air. How is he standing in the air?
The mouths of Jesus' friends were stuck open. The cloud hid him from view, but they continued to look at where he was.
Men of Galilee.
The disciples blinked and they finally looked down. When they looked down, they saw two figures standing next to them, dressed in white.
Why do you stand here looking at the sky? Jesus has been taken away from you into heaven.
But he will come back in the same way you saw him go.
Come back? Come back when?
He did say, don't be concerned about times or dates.
But he just gave us the biggest job ever. Tell everyone in the whole world about him? There's gotta be a plan.
The Holy Spirit. I think the Holy Spirit is the plan.
But we don't know what the Holy Spirit is.
Jesus said to wait in Jerusalem.
So, wait. That's the plan?
That's the plan for now.
Before I say this, we play the video, if you want to see an up-close shot on my phone, that's the camera right there. Look at this peanut butter. So Jesus gave his followers a job that seemed almost impossible. He wanted them to spread his love to everyone in every nation, every city around the world. Soon, he gave them everything they needed and more to not only start the job, but keep going. All right, so I'm about to mix my peanut butter, but what I want to tell you before I do is that our memory verse for this month is Galatians 6:9. It says, "Let us not become tired of doing good. At the right time, we will gather a crop if we don't give up." So what Jesus wanted his disciples to remember, and what I want you guys to remember in the story, is to not give up even if it seems impossible. So on Easter Sunday, when I got all those people together and we drove to your guys' houses and laid Easter eggs, I thought that wasn't going to be possible just because of everybody having to stick at home, but I didn't give up and we made it work, me and all the adults. And it was so fun to be able to see all you guys and still put on a normal Easter. So a while ago when I told you guys that I wasn't going to follow the directions, I ended up following the directions. Sometimes when you want to be really good at something, like playing the guitar or practicing piano, you don't necessarily always have to follow the instructions. You just have to mess around with it a little bit. So what I did is I followed the instructions. The instructions told me I had to microwave my chocolate and peanut butter for 1 minute, and it didn't really work as good as when I did it by myself. So yeah, sometimes the instructions aren't right, but next time I'll get it. But the chocolate and the peanut butter didn't stick to the powdered sugar right there. So I messed up a little bit, but it's okay because it still tastes good. But next time I'll get it. If I keep trying, determination, I gotta keep trying. I can do it.